What's going on, everyone? Retire on Dividends here, back to make another episode of the Dry series. If you're new to this series, what we do here is we compare Defiance and Roundhill, with their index funds, their options index funds that they trade options every single day, and they pay us a high yield. But we compare to see how they perform day in and day out against the index. And then we also compare some YieldMax funds, and then we compare, one of the YieldMax crypto funds versus one of the Roundhill crypto funds as well. All right, so let's get to it. But before I even get started, there's going to be some background noise. Little Rod is here, and he is wide awake. He just got up from his nap, and I'm here with him by myself. So I figured I'd get this video done now rather than later. So let's get to it. So first up is QQQY versus QDTE. They do options on the NASDAQ. So we're going to look at what the NASDAQ did each and every day and then see what the others did. So on Monday, the NASDAQ went down 0.3%. QQQY went down 0.2%. And QDTE went down 0.43%. So QQQY took the win because they went down less than QDTE. And it also went down less than the index. Next day, Tuesday, the NASDAQ went down 0.13%. QQQY went up 0.27%. And QDTE went up 0.13%. So QQQY took the win yet again. On Wednesday, this is a big up day for NASDAQ. So typically, this is where Roundhill shines. The NASDAQ went up 2.31%. QQQY captured only 0.93% of that. QDTE captured 2.42%. So although QQQY was whooping on QDTE the last 2 days, this is a big up day, right? It beat QQQY by basically 1.5%, right? 1.5%. And that's a big day. Thursday, the NASDAQ went down 0.69%. QQQY went down 0.61%. And QDTE went down a little less at 0.58%. So QDTE for the win again. And then on Friday, the NASDAQ went up 1.66%. QQQY went up as well, but 0.83%. And QDTE went up 1.59%. So again, on a pretty big up day, which, 1.66% on the NASDAQ is considered a pretty big up day, QDTE captured most of it and QQQY could not. And you'll see on the flat days or the slightly down days, QQQY does shine over the others. So end result, though, QDTE 3 wins versus QQQY's 2 wins. Up next is the S&P version of the fund. Now we have the S&P. We'll go through that, and then we'll compare it to WDTE versus XDTE. So Monday, the S&P went up 0.16%. WDTE went up 0.5%. And XDTE, for whatever reason, went down 0.32%. So WDTE for the win. Tuesday, the S&P went up 0.11%. WDTE went up 0.26%. And XDTE went up the same, 0.26%. However, obviously, this goes out more decimals, and it looks like XDTE did take the win by a fraction, but nonetheless a win. And then Wednesday, big up day. S&P went up 1.83%. WDTE, that's surprising. It actually captured 1.72%. So on a day like that, I want to know what they did differently than normal. But whatever. XDTE captured 1.9%. So XDTE still beat them, but not by a lot. So that was a good day for both of them, actually. S&P on Thursday, it went down by 0.21%. WDTE went down 0.05%. And XDTE went down 0.14%. So WDTE took the win that day. And then on Friday, the S&P went up an even 1%. WDTE only captured a third of that, 0.33%. And XDTE captured that one and more. It captured 1.14%. So XDTE took the win that day. So XDTE, 3 wins versus WDTE's 2 wins. So good job. Roundhill, so far so good. Now, what the heck? Was I going to say something? Yeah, I forgot already. Let's continue. All right, up next is the Russell. So obviously for the Russell funds, we're going to compare IWMY versus RDTE. So let's start with Monday. Monday, the Russell went up 0.24%. IWMY went up 0.48%, and RDTE went up 0.23%. So IWMY for the win. It beat not only RDTE, it beat the index. Okay, good. All right, next up, Tuesday. Pretty big update, 1.13% positive for the Russell. IWMY captured 0.88%, but RDTE captured 1.08%. So RDTE for the win. Another big update on Wednesday. The Russell went up 1.98%. IWMY, just like the other one, good job, captured 1.68%. This is not like them. However, again, RDTE, whooping ass. It went up 2.28%. So RDTE for the win. Now, here we go. Russell, kind of a flat day, right? It went up 0.15%. IWMY went up 0.14%, and RDTE went up 0.11%. So IWMY took the win. And then the Russell went up 0.4%. IWMY went up 0.67%. And then RDTE went up 0.51%. So IWMY for the win. Now, on this one, Defiance actually took the win. So the IWMY has 3 wins versus RDTE's 2 wins. So good job, IWMY. Up next, this is where we compare YMAX versus YMAG. These are both YieldMax funds that pay weekly. One is the fund of all the covered call ETFs, which is YMAX, and the other is a fund of the Magnificent 7 covered call ETFs, so 7 funds total. Okay, Monday. YMAX went down 1.63%. YMAG only went down 0.59%, so YMAG for the win. Tuesday, YMAX went up 0.37%. YMAG went down 0.86%. So YMAX for the win. Wednesday, YMAX went up 2.21%. That's a good day. However, YMAG beat it by 0.01%. It went up 2.22%. So good job, YMAG. Thursday, YMAX went down 0.29%. YMAG went down more, 1.11%. And by the way, what a crappy dividend, right? See the distro? I know we don't talk about it. We talk about the yield, but this was the week. This was the weekly where they only pay MSFO, so they paid 5 cents. So their yield is not going to look pretty. But anyway, YMAX took the win that day. And then Friday, YMAX went up 1.57%. YMAG went up 1.08%. So YMAX for the win again. So YMAX has 3 wins versus YMAG's 2 wins. Good job, YMAX. You took the win. Up next is the crypto gang. So let's see. We got IBIT, which is essentially representing the index because it's one of those, newer ETFs that actually hold Bitcoin. And not to mention YBIT and YBTC. These are the funds that trade options on IBIT. So it's a great combo here. Let's see how they compare against one another. IBIT went down 1.15% on the Monday, but YBIT went up 2.18%. YBTC went down 1.31%. What in the hell? Yeah. I guess so, man. YBIT had a really good Monday somehow. I don't know. Whatever. Tuesday, IBIT went up. Big day, 3.03%. YBIT went down 0.32%. And then we got YBTC went up 3.2%. So obviously something funky with these numbers, but YBTC took the win. Wednesday, another big day. IBIT went up 3.3%. YBIT went up 2.53%. And YBTC went up 2.4%. So YBIT took the win. Thursday, IBIT went up a little, 0.79%. YBIT captured 0.39%. YBTC captured 0.88%. So YBTC for the win. Friday, big up day, man. IBIT went up 4.43%. Let's see what YBIT captured. It captured 3.38%. YBTC, for whatever reason, only captured 0.78%. So that sucks. YBIT for the win. So YBIT, YieldMax YBIT, 3 wins versus Roundhill's YBTC's 2 wins. So good job, YBIT. All right, now we get to the wars. First up is the yield war. So This just shows how much they're yielding on an annualized basis based on the most recent payment. I talked about YMAG and their awful payment. You could see, obviously, that 5-cent payment comes to a 13% yield. Not normal, right? Their regular yield around 40%, some 80% the 1 week, 44. But then, yeah, every fourth week you'll get that low yield, 15%, 16%, and it happens. But YMAG is still a really good fund. So let's see who had the highest yield. YBIT's yield is still locked in based on their, they pay once every 4 weeks. So I'm still using that prior payment to capture their yield. So, and they still have the highest yield based on that. Again, I'm comparing that distribution versus the same declaration date as these others. It comes to a 71% annualized yield. In second is QQQY. They're paying a 51% yield. And in third is IWMY, which is a 50% yield. I'll keep going in order. Up next is RDTE with a 47% yield. And then QDTE with a 43.5% yield. And then XDTE, 38% yield. YBTC, 35% yield. YMAX, 34% yield. And then WDTE, 30% yield. And then last but not least is YMAG with 13% yield. So if you look back in history, I started tracking this around early October. For the most part, the best yielders are IWMY, YMAX, and YMAG. Now that YBIT's here and YBTC, things may change, but historical data shows IWMY, YMAX, and YMAG are really the best yielders. All right, NavWar, this is where we compare the price change throughout the week. Who had the best increase in price, for, basically for those 5 days. I highlighted the 3 who won, and guess what? It's all crypto. It's the crypto gang showing off. IBIT at number 1, 10.4% increase. Number 2, YBIT at 8.17% increase. And YBTC, 5.96% increase. So crypto really, they had a really good week. So none of these indexes or whatever, they really couldn't touch them. So, and that's not fair. So I'm going to go down the line. I'm going to read how the others did. The NASDAQ went up 2.85% for the week. QQQY went up 1.21% for the week. QDTE went up 3.12% for the week. So out of the NASDAQ ones, QDTE for the win. S&P 500 went up 2.89% for the week. WDTE went up 2.76% for the week. And XDTE went up 2.84% for the week. So out of the S&P ones, the S&P 500 index actually won at, first place. And then XDTE right behind it. And then the Russells. Russell went up 3.91%. IWMY went up 3.85%. RDTE with the win. It went up 4.2%. Good job, RDTE. And then YMAX versus YMAG. YMAX went up 2.23%, and YMAG went up 0.74%. So YMAX whooped that ass. Good job, YMAX. And then we got the total return war, which it's not even a close contest, to be honest, because Roundhill, again, I say this every video, on larger up days, Roundhill wins because most of the time, the upside is reflected on the after hours or the pre-market, and they are not locked in any covered calls during that time. They do 0 DTE, which means they start to position after the market opens, and they close it before the market closes. So they are able to capture that upside. So, and that, it is so far, again, I started this tracking October 4th. So far, it's proven to work better. I mean, I know we don't have years and years of sampling, but again, I'm doing my best to track it as time goes on, and we can make our own decisions from there. All right, so total return, I'm just going to cover the total return numbers. QQQY total return since October 4th, negative 0.76%. This is without drip. This is just taking the dividends as cash, by the way, but still, they're in the negative. QDTE total return, positive 6.16%, and NASDAQ total return, 7.02%. So if you're asking yourself, if you're buying and holding, if you're not spending the dividend, what's the best total return? The NASDAQ was with 7.02%. All right, up next, we compare the S&P ones, all right? So WDTE total return, positive 0.81%. XDTE total return, positive 4.1%. And then S&P, positive 4.27%. So the answer here, The index wins again, positive 4.27%. Up next is the Russells. Let's see. IWMY went up positive 0.85%. RDTE is positive 4.26%. And the Russell is positive 2.85%. So this is impressive. RDTE beat the Russell by a lot. Not by, well, a decent amount. So good job, RDTE. And then we compare YMAX versus YMAG. And then we throw in MAGs because MAGs is an ETF that owns the Magnificent Seven. You know, no fancy options in there. YMAX total return 11.36%, YMAG total return 11.6%, and MAG's total return 17.23%. So obviously you're better off owning the MAGs. Again, if you're not using income, if you're not using the income now, if you're just buying and holding, you are better off buying the MAGs as of October 4th versus these funds. Of course, I say that, but this is without drip, so it's not fair. I know it's not fair to the income funds, but I'm just saying, you know, taking the distribution as cash and buying whatever you please, this is the total return based on that. But YMAX and YMAG, man, over 11% total return. You cannot go wrong. Since October 4th, we're in January. What do we got? November, December, 3 months. Amazing. All right, this is even more amazing. YBIT, YBTC, and IBIT. YBIT, total return, positive 34%. YBTC, total return, 39%. IBIT, total return, 67%. So IBIT, domination. IBIT domination. It went up 67%. And, you know, in second place is YBTC at 39%. Well, he was behaving this whole time, and now he's not. You can't touch that. That's gum. Yeah, that's gum. It's gum. You can't touch it. All right, let's continue. Let's finish this video. All right, so up next is the assets under management war. This is just shows you week to week how many outstanding shares were purchased or removed or sold. So QQQY, their outstanding shares went down by 100,000. QDTE, their outstanding shares went up by 490,000. WDTE, outstanding shares went down by 125,000. XDTE, outstanding shares went up by 260,000. All right. IWMY, outstanding shares went down by 50,000. RDTE, outstanding shares, no change. YMAX, outstanding shares went up by 475,000. And then YMAG, outstanding shares increased by 550,000. YBIT, outstanding shares increased by 50,000. And then YBTC increased by 150,000. Overall, the largest net asset change based on outstanding shares this week, because I didn't get to carry the actual net asset value as of last week, so I just had to get the outstanding share total. But based on that, the biggest increase was YMAX. I think, again, almost every week it's YMAX. They increased by 77 million, which is pretty insane. And then last but not least, we have the finals tab where we just compare, you know, some of the basic stuff here. So we have the average yield and the total NAV since I've been starting tracking this. So QQQY, average yield 43%. QDTE, average yield 40%. WDTE, average yield 32%. XDTE, average yield 28.5%. And then we got IWMY, their average yield is 51.5%. Gotta love it. Daddy. RDTE, average yield is 38%. Yes. Okay, in a second. YMAX, average yield 55%. YMAG, average yield 46%. YBIT, average yield 71%, and YBTC, average yield is 59%. Total NAV, let's see, is everyone positive? Everyone but QQQY is positive. QQQY is negative 0.7%. QDTE, positive 6.6%. WDTE, positive 1%. XDTE, positive 4.3%. IWMY, positive 1.2%. RDTE, positive 4.8%. YMAX, positive 11.75%. YMAG, positive 11.91%. YBIT, 33.57%. And YBTC, positive 36.21%. Whew, that's a lot. Sorry, I feel like I'm rushing, but I'm just trying to chase the kid around kind of a little bit. But anyway, so that's the update on the dry series. Again, the point of this series is, well, it really started with the comparison of Defiance versus Roundhill when Defiance decided to go weekly pay, because they have similar funds. So, and they ended up with the same ex-dividend date, same pay date. So you know what? You're going to do the same thing? I'm going to compare you. And then we ended up adding a few other things. And of course, along the way, we may add some more. But anyway, let me know what you think of this video. What do you think of the funds? I know a lot of people hate on Defiance, but they have their days. But so far in the long term, Roundhill seems to be beating them due to their 0 DTE versus Defiance's 1 DTE. And of course, they have the long call. Defiance doesn't hold the long call. But yeah, let me know what you think of all of these funds. Which one's a keeper? Which one's a bye-bye? You know, which one's not worth a damn? Let me know your thoughts. Does this video help you guys still, or is it too much? Do you not need it on a weekly basis, or do you still like to see it week in and week out? I'm not sure if this, is it better on a monthly basis, or should we keep it as weekly? Give me your thoughts down below. As always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we will try again next week. And if you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. And let me know if you have any questions or concerns down below. All right, that's all I got. I think I'm done. Time to go hang out with little Rod, see what he's doing, right? He's waiting for me. Guess what he's watching? Boss Baby, as usual. But anyway, any final words? Little Rod, what do you want to say? Take out the phone and say something. What are we watching? What movie are you watching? All right, say hi at least. Say hi. Say hi.
Hey.
There you go. All right. That took a while. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Later.